What's up, YouTube? This is my first video on anything to do with rifles, but this is going to be a AR-15 build. The parts I chose, why I personally went with them, and how I feel about it. So here it is. I'll break it down a little bit, show you what I got into it. A lot of these parts I got on sale, you know, Christmas time, Labor Day, things like that. So we'll start off with the the takedown pins. I bought the quick takedown pins. I can't think of the name. Basically, you just pull them out. Makes it super easy. You know, tear your rifle down. Don't have to use anything special to do it. So anyway, if I can actually take the damn thing apart. There we go. Well, I don't know what I'm doing. Alright. I guess we'll start with the lower. Went with a Spikes Tactical, the jack build on the lower, or piece on the lower. A lot of people will say, well, you don't need to spend that kind of money on something like that. It's not worth it. Forge is better, blah, blah, blah. I wanted something unique. I wanted something that looked different. The billet, from what I understand, is a little bit heavier, but I love the look of this lower. I love the feel of it. It's got the integrated trigger guard. Just super, super nice, I think, for me. Got an ambidextrious safety selector on both sides, an FDE, Magpul grip, rubberized MOE grip. This is a FabDefense buttstock, adjustable buttstock. Wasn't as pleased with it as I thought I was going to be, but still overall happy. And the reason why I wasn't as pleased is because apparently FabDefense does not make an adapter to fit over the top for a cheek riser. So, you know, when you're shooting with a scope and you need your cheek to sit up a little bit higher, unfortunately you're kind of screwed on that part for the time being. Been trying to figure out an alternative to that other than buying a new buttstock. You know, put an extra mag there. That's what I really liked about it. Keep some extra ammo. I got the Phase 5 45 quick detach on the back for the back plate. The buffer tube kit, I went with just the stock BCM, you know, Bravo company, and it's great. I love it. The recoil, you know, it feels like you're not shooting a 223. It feels like something less. Not quite as little as a 22, but it does handle very well. The trigger, I've got a Rise Armament, the RA-535, I believe is what it is, 3.5 pound single stage trigger, and I love this thing. It is super fast, doesn't move. You know, of course I got the K&S anti-rotating pin kit. It does not take a whole lot. This thing is awesome. I love this trigger. Of course, it's the first trigger, you know, aftermarket trigger I've used besides a OEM one, you know, like from CMMG or DPMS. It's such standard 6.5 pound trigger pull, I think. So love this trigger, love this lower. The buffer tube kit. The only thing I'm not too happy with, like I said, is the buttstock, but I can live with it until, you know, I figure something else out. And of course the Magpul's got the little compartment here you can stick extra stuff in. I have the front sight adjustment tool, which I actually need to take out because I don't need it anymore, and I'll show you why here in a little bit. Alright, so upper, I have got a Midwest Industries 15-inch aluminum FDE handguard. Very pleased with this handguard, except this right here, this bottom part of it. And the only reason is because of the lower assembly that I've got. When you tear it down, it hits, as you can see, it touches right there, and so it can actually, you know, do a little surface damage. So I may end up switching handguards later because of that, and use this for, you know, another rifle or something, or I don't know, sell it. I don't know. All right, so Spikes Tactical billet upper. Some people are like, well, why'd you go with a billet upper? Why are you spending all this money on it? I love the look of it. I wanted something to match the lower. It's just preference. You know, you don't have to have a billet upper with a forged lower, or vice versa, forged lower with a billet upper, or the same. You know, obviously these things are made to be customized. I mean, it's accessories galore with these ARs. All right, so bolt carrier group, I went with the BCM FDE. Can't go wrong with the BCM bolt carrier group. This thing is amazing. I have not yet to have a misfire or anything like that, jams, nothing like that. A little dirty right now. I need to clean it. I went shooting the other day. Charging handle, nothing special. This was just a cheapy ambidextrious I got from one of my local retailers here. You know, it's all it's meant to do is just pull the bolt back. I don't have any plans on upgrading this to a more expensive one. I think I paid like 15-20 bucks for it. Unless for some reason this just breaks, then I'll, you know, go ahead and fork out the extra money and buy a quality one. But it's doing the job. I have not had any issues with it. So why fix it if it's not broke, right? So the as far as the front sight adjustment tool, here's the reason why I do not need it. I went ahead and got the Magpul 45-degree Pro sights. These are steel, if I remember right, and you do not need any kind of adjustment tool for this. You know, you twist it with your fingers on both, obviously the rear, but the front is the main thing. I love these sights. These things are solid. They do not budge unless you make them. You've got to really put some pressure to make it turn and you know, adjust your sight there, even on the front one. Magpul did an excellent job with these. I love how low profile they are. I mean, they just lay nice and flat with the rifle. No movement. You know, these things are just awesome. I am absolutely in love with them. So kudos to Magpul, and you can, I mean, just hear this click with it. It's crisp. You can tell that this thing is locked in. So no issues there. The scope, this is a Leupold VX2. It's got the 4 to 12 times magnification, I believe 44 millimeter lens. No, it's either 44 or 40, I can't quite remember, I'd have to look it up. Very pleased with this scope. I actually got it on sale a little while back. I can't remember if it was Black Friday or something like that, but I paid literally half for the scope and also for the mount. This is the Leupold Mark II scope mount. Very, very good quality products here. And it came with this neoprene, you know, scope cover. Super pleased with this. The first time I sighted in the scope, I used a bench rest and took it home. Next time I went out to shoot, I didn't know if it was going to hold zero. I had a problem with another scope not holding zero. Took it out to shoot and just, I mean, first round, hit the target, no problems. Great clarity, you know, super happy with this scope setup. No complaints whatsoever, especially for the price. I think I paid a little over $200 for it on sale. And it was normally over $400, I think, and that's still excluding the Mark II scope mount there. Let's see, the barrel, I went with a Criterion 223 Wylde barrel. Really accurate, super accurate. This is the 18-inch barrel. I went a little bit longer for accuracy, and it big difference. Well, I shouldn't say big difference, but love the accuracy of this rifle. I mean, this thing is just dead on accurate. The recoil is amazing. You know, there's no recoil, but you know, 223 there shouldn't be anyway. Spikes Tactical gas tube, Melonite gas tube. I went with the Odin Works adjustable gas block. Super happy with that thing. I I believe Odin Works had a instruction booklet that for first setup when installing it. That's how I followed it, and I haven't had to adjust it. This thing cycles perfectly fine. Not too much and not too less to where it doesn't fully cycle. It works great. Trying to think of what else. The muzzle brake is a Fortis manufacturing muzzle brake. I can't remember the model. I'd have to look it up. I mean, works well with the gun. That's all I can say. Everything works flawlessly. I have not had any issues whatsoever. This thing performs very well. Oh, so on the handguard, I went with the Midwest Industries partially because of price, partially because it was already an FDE, and also the quick detach mounts. This thing has got multiples. I love it. It's got one on each side here in the back, pretty close to the center of the rifle too, which is nice because it helps to keep it off the ground. And also on the front, you've got one on each side as well as the bottom here. And that was another thing that I did like about the FabDefense buttstock, is it's got a quick detach on each side. The Phase 5, again, 45-degree quick detach back here. So I've got some quick detaches kind of all over the place. Makes it nice for as far as adjustability and where you want your rifle to hang when you're carrying it, and for how you want it to be, where you want your sling at. Trying to think of what else. I mean, for the most part, that's basically it. Again, I absolutely love this rifle. Everybody that has shot it has fell in love with it instantly. They say it shoots amazing. Real high quality build for me. Some of you guys might have a difference of opinion. Sometimes it's preference, but Spikes is known for their quality. That was another thing that I absolutely loved about this rifle here, is that these pieces fit together super tight. I mean, there is just no movement, no rattle, like nothing. This thing is snug. It's fits like a glove, so to speak. I really don't know what else to say about this thing other than I am absolutely in love with it. Love shooting it. I already can't wait to go shoot it again. If I left anything out, please feel free to comment below. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know your opinions, and what you went with on your builds and why. There was something else I was going to say about the rifle. Now I can't think. Oh, the other thing was, so I've got what some people refer to as a Frankenstein build. There's a lot of people that don't like that. Frankenstein build is basically where you've got all these different manufacturer companies parts and you put them together to make your rifle. I don't care about that. I care about quality. I care about functionality, accuracy. I wanted all of that stuff. I did a lot of research before I built this thing. I was also on a little bit of a budget. Not that this stuff is cheap. It was cheap. I did get a lot of it on sale. I think overall I paid about $1,600 or $1,700 for this rifle build. Then if I were to buy all the parts at full price, it would have ran me well over $2,000. But Spikes, excellent quality. That's why I went with that. I wanted a different look, so that's why I paid a little extra. Went with the billet instead of the forged. My personal preference. Forged is perfectly fine. From what I understand, it's also can be better as far as durability. I do have plans to Cerakote this. Leopold, that was the best quality I could find without breaking the bank. Very good scopes so far. BCM, everything I read, this was always the #1 pick. BCM was you know, for the bolts. Everything I read is like, you know, if you're gonna go different on a bolt, you know, at least pick Bravo Company, because they are well known for their you know, bolt products. So bolt carrier group products. I went ahead and decided to go with BCM on the Buffer 2 kit, probably because it was on sale, and also because of their quality. They're an excellent company. I do know. Oh, by the way, I do not endorse any of these companies. This is all just my own free doing, my own free decisions. So, Criterion, I went with them because I did some research on Wylde barrels, and they came out as one of the top ones. Wasn't super expensive, so, but it wasn't cheap either, don't get me wrong. So I went with that. Midwest Industries, that was just on a whim. I never really did any research on it. I didn't think you needed to do any research really for a handguard. All it's to do is to protect your hand from the heat and everything, right? But you know, you also want it to not break if you drop it. So if I drop it later, we will see how well it holds up. But for right now, I'm super pleased with it. It's the M-Lok as well. I don't think I had mentioned that earlier. Oh, and the lower parts kit, I think I just went with a regular CMMG lower parts kit. It was either that or DPMS, one of the two, I can't remember, but it does its job. You know, keeps all the detent pins in place. Haven't had any issues. With nothing, you know, not locking, without anything locking in. So, yeah, that's basically all I've got. Let me know what you think. Sorry if I don't look like I know how to put this thing together. I promise I do. I was, you know, been messing with these things since I was pretty much 18 years old. It's my thumb. I got caught not too long ago in a table saw. Messed it up pretty good, still actually recovering from that. So I fumble a lot with things. Look like I don't know how to handle stuff.